prescription for trouble.
They might not be able to get drugs off the street.
I think it's kind of getting new and more popular.
It's probably pretty easy to get drugs anywhere.
The drugs these high schoolers are talking about are not the kind most parents expect. We're talking about prescription drugs and why teenagers have it in their heads popping pills is somehow safer than street drugs.
It's like, you can get it, your mom has it, so it must be okay if your mom can do it.
Lots of kids, what they would do is if they took Adderall or Ritalin or something, they just, when they didn't need it, they'd just take it and they'd take excess of it.
All 3 teenagers from East Forsyth High School we talked to say they've never abused prescription drugs. Mina Cook, a counselor with the Partnership for a Drug-Free North Carolina, says they know more about this type of abuse than they realize.
Teens across the nation, their knowledge of and their savviness in terms of the names of prescription drugs, even though he wasn't using and didn't know anyone who was, he was still able to rattle off, well, I know that sometimes people abuse Vicodin or Xanax or Adderall or Ritalin, and so the fact that that's in their vocabulary is kind of alarming.
Dave Marley says several years ago, pharmacists like himself and doctors used to be the only people who knew the names of behind-the-counter medicines. But with more aggressive advertising, teenagers can't help but soak it all in.
Now you've got this culture where everybody thinks there's a pill for every ill.
Cook says abuse and perception around prescriptions varies from school to school. To hear these students say they don't have friends attending farming parties is a good thing, but it doesn't mean it's not happening.
I'm sure that if you selected at random, several other students, you may or may not get the same answer.